Let's get to the juicy part. Number 1. Overplanning everything. Overplanning feels like control because it gives your brain a false sense of certainty. When you plan everything in advance, your mind believes it can prevent discomfort before it happens. The problem is that real life never follows the plan, so your brain never gets to relax. Instead of acting, you stay stuck forecasting imaginary futures and rehearsing problems that may never exist. This keeps your nervous system in prediction mode, which is one of the fastest ways to create anxiety. Over time, even small unknowns start feeling threatening because you've trained yourself to eliminate uncertainty. You don't trust reality anymore, you trust preparation. And when preparation isn't possible, anxiety spikes immediately. Planning becomes a coping mechanism instead of a tool. The correction is uncomfortable but effective. Limit planning to the next physical action only. Once that action is clear, stop planning entirely and move. Let the future stay blurry on purpose. Anxiety shrinks when your brain relearns that uncertainty is survivable. Number 2, constantly checking your phone. Constantly checking your phone feels like staying in control of your life. It gives you the sense that nothing important can happen without you knowing about it. Every glance at the screen tells your brain that something might demand your attention at any moment. That expectation alone is enough to keep your nervous system activated. Even when there are no notifications, your body stays on standby. Standby mode is not neutral, it is stressful. Your brain never fully settles because it's waiting for interruption. Calm starts to feel unfamiliar, almost suspicious. Over time, you stop noticing how tense you are. The constant alertness becomes your baseline. You're not anxious about messages themselves. You're anxious about the possibility that one could arrive. This creates a background hum of anxiety that never fully shuts off. Focus becomes fragile and easily broken. Rest turns into restlessness because stimulation is expected. Silence starts to feel uncomfortable instead of calming. Your phone slowly becomes a portable anxiety trigger. Even holding it primes your brain for urgency. The correction is not better discipline or stronger willpower. It's changing the environment so your nervous system can relax. Put your phone physically out of reach during focused work and rest. Distance matters more than intention. Create blocks of time where nothing can reach you. Your nervous system needs proof that it's safe to disengage. When interruptions stop, your body relearns calm. Anxiety decreases not because you controlled more, but because you finally allowed less. Number 3, reassurance seeking. Reassurance seeking feels like taking responsibility for your mental health. Asking others if things are okay gives quick relief and a sense of stability. The relief feels real because uncertainty disappears for a moment. Your nervous system calms down as soon as someone confirms that nothing is wrong. The problem is what your brain learns from that relief. It learns that safety comes from outside confirmation, not internal judgment. Each time you ask for reassurance, self-trust weakens slightly. Your brain becomes less confident in its own assessments. Anxiety returns faster the next time because your internal alarm system is no longer trusted. Neutral situations start feeling suspicious and unstable. You begin checking more often, asking more questions, and doubting yourself more quickly. What used to be reassurance turns into dependency. Over time, reassurance stops working as well. You need more of it to get less relief. This keeps anxiety active instead of resolving it. Your nervous system never learns that uncertainty can pass on its own. You're not calming anxiety, you're feeding it indirectly. Anxiety grows stronger when it learns it must be solved externally. The correction is delaying reassurance on purpose. When the urge to ask appears, pause instead of acting immediately. Let the discomfort rise and fall without interference. This teaches your nervous system that anxiety is survivable. Start with small delays and build tolerance over time. Confidence grows when your brain relearns self-regulation. Real calm doesn't come from answers. It comes from trusting yourself without them. Number 4, avoiding discomfort. Avoiding discomfort feels like protecting yourself. The moment you escape a stressful situation, relief hits immediately. That relief teaches your brain a powerful lesson. It learns that discomfort is dangerous and must be avoided. Each avoided situation strengthens that belief. Your tolerance for stress slowly shrinks without you noticing. Situations that were once neutral start triggering anxiety. Your world quietly becomes smaller. You begin structuring your life around comfort. Anything unpredictable or challenging feels threatening. Comfort starts to feel like safety. In reality, comfort is making you fragile. The nervous system adapts to what it experiences. When it never experiences discomfort, it loses resilience. This makes anxiety more sensitive and reactive. Small stressors start producing large emotional responses. You feel anxious more often, not because life is harder, but because your tolerance is lower. Avoidance has trained your fear system to overreact. The cost is long-term freedom. You trade short-term relief for long-term restriction. The correction is voluntary, controlled discomfort, not suffering, but exposure. Choose small, uncomfortable actions on purpose. Stay in them long enough for your body to calm down. This teaches your nervous system that discomfort does not equal danger. Anxiety shrinks when fear predictions are disproven. Start small and repeat often. Resilience is built through experience, not thought. Over time, situations stop feeling threatening. Calm returns not through avoidance, but through capability. Number 5, overconsuming information. Overconsuming information feels responsible and smart. Reading more, researching more, and preparing more gives the illusion that you're gaining control. The problem is that information doesn't automatically create clarity. Past a certain point, it creates noise. Your brain starts believing that knowing more will make you safer, so it keeps searching for certainty that never actually arrives. This turns research into a loop. You read one more article, watch one more video, and compare one more opinion. Decisions get delayed because acting feels riskier than learning. Anxiety grows because nothing ever feels finished. You feel busy and mentally exhausted, but strangely unproductive. Information becomes avoidance disguised as diligence. Open questions stay open. Your nervous system hates open loops. The longer a decision stays unresolved, the more anxiety it generates. Mental clutter builds without release. Over time, you lose trust in your ability to decide. You rely on more input instead of judgment. The correction is setting a hard boundary on information. Decide in advance how much research is enough. When you hit that limit, stop consuming and act. Accept that no decision comes with full certainty. Action closes loops. Closed loops calm the nervous system. Clarity doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from deciding and moving forward despite incomplete information. Anxiety drops when your brain learns that action, not certainty, creates safety. Number 6, trying to control other people. Trying to control other people feels like preventing problems before they happen. You think that if you manage situations carefully enough, nothing will go wrong. You monitor tone, reactions, timing, and outcomes. Your brain stays busy trying to predict how others will behave. This creates constant vigilance. Vigilance is exhausting, even when nothing bad actually happens. People are unpredictable by nature. No amount of control can change that fact. When someone reacts differently than you expected, anxiety spikes. Your brain interprets it as a failure to manage the situation. You start feeling responsible for emotions that aren't yours. That responsibility creates pressure and tension. Over time, resentment builds quietly. You give more energy than you receive, and it wears you down. Relationships stop feeling safe and start feeling like projects. You're never fully relaxed around other people. The nervous system stays on edge because it's trying to manage the uncontrollable. Anxiety grows because the task is impossible. Control doesn't create safety. It creates constant effort. The correction is shifting from control to boundaries. Boundaries define what you are responsible for and what you are not. Focus on your actions, your words, and your responses. Let others handle their own emotions and reactions. This initially feels uncomfortable, but discomfort is cheaper than constant vigilance. Anxiety decreases when responsibility returns to where it belongs. Calm grows when you stop carrying other people's nervous systems. Number 7, overanalyzing your thoughts. Overanalyzing your thoughts feels like self-awareness and responsibility. You believe that if you understand every thought, you can prevent anxiety from getting worse. You start monitoring your mind closely. Every sensation, emotion, or intrusive thought gets examined for meaning. The problem is that attention amplifies whatever it lands on. When you focus on a thought, your brain assumes it's important. That assumption keeps anxiety alive. The thought doesn't fade because it's being watched. You start checking whether anxiety is gone. That checking itself becomes the reason it stays. Thoughts turn into problems simply because they are analyzed. Neutral mental noise gets treated like a threat. Your nervous system never disengages. It believes something needs to be solved. This creates mental fatigue and emotional tension. Calm becomes harder to access the more you think about it. You mistake thinking for progress. In reality, you're reinforcing the loop. Thoughts are not commands or warnings. They are mental events that pass on their own. The correction is redirection, not suppression. You don't fight the thought, and you don't follow it. Label it briefly and shift attention outward. Use movement, sound, or physical sensation. Action breaks mental loops faster than analysis. The body teaches the brain that nothing is wrong. Over time, thoughts lose their emotional charge. Anxiety fades when attention stops feeding it. Calm returns not because you figured anxiety out. It returns because you stop treating thoughts like emergencies. Number 8, perfectionism. Perfectionism feels like responsibility and high standards. You tell yourself you're just trying to do things the right way. In reality, perfectionism keeps your nervous system in a constant state of tension. Nothing is ever finished, so nothing ever feels safe. You delay starting because you want the conditions to be ideal. You delay finishing because you're afraid of judgment. This traps you in preparation mode. Effort never turns into closure. Your brain stays alert because there is no clear endpoint. Anxiety thrives in open loops. Even small tasks start feeling heavy. Everything carries the weight of getting it right. Mistakes feel dangerous instead of normal. You associate imperfection with threat. Over time, progress slows down dramatically. Confidence drops because nothing is ever completed. You don't build evidence that you can handle outcomes. You only build evidence that you can avoid them. This makes anxiety chronic. Your nervous system never gets the relief of done. Perfectionism looks disciplined from the outside. Internally, it's exhausting. The correction is redefining success before you start. Decide what good enough means in advance. Set a clear finish line that is intentionally imperfect. Commit to stopping when you reach it. Ship the work while it still feels uncomfortable. Let judgment happen instead of trying to prevent it. Completion teaches your brain safety. Nothing catastrophic happens when you finish. Anxiety decreases when actions end. Calm comes not from perfection, but from closure. If you enjoyed the shit out of this video, leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel, and it tells me to make more videos like this.